everybody.
What up, doe?
What's up? We live and in charge.
Mm,
I don't know where that came from,
yeah,
but all
you
right.
just mixed two big sayings. Live
We
and in
live and
charge.
in charge. Dude, we live and in charge. We're in
Right.
charge of all the lives.
I
Because
like
we in charge. Because we laugh.
Yep, there we go.
I don't know.
Well, this is Siobhan. This is Siobhan, y'all.
Welcome to Two Snaps and a Circle.
Two snaps in a circle.
In a circular motion.
Hey.
And I am Siobhan and Chevy as well.
Yes.
And
I am Latoya.
Yeah.
The point of view finder.
Yes. We're silly today.
Yeah. It's that one of them days.
Yeah, it's one of those days, We're almost to the weekend and that's a blessing. Let me tell you, that is a blessing. So how you feel about our snowstorm we got this week?
Oh man, it's one of those things where I think when it comes to like winter and snow here in Michigan, it's not if it's gonna happen, it's when it's gonna happen. And when it happens and you get it over with, you're just kind of like happy that it happened, it's over. Like hopefully it doesn't happen again. We got a little snow this evening, but nothing crazy. So I stayed my butt in the house. Hey, real, I stayed in the house. So my first time today just made a silly decision. I was like, oh, I'm gonna park in front of the house, like get out of the driveway from my parents. Nope, I got stuck like trying to park.
Oh Lord.
Trying to park. I was like this and diagonal. And so yeah, but thank God my dad was home. He could help me out, shovel me out, push me out. So
well, that's always good.
Yeah. What about yourself? How you feeling about this week?
Well, it's cool. I've been in the house all week anyway, and that would have been the situation regardless to if it snowed or not. So yay for me,
I was thinking in my head too, like even though I'm not working right now, I'm just happy that like most people, the things that they would be going through trying to get to work in weather like that, it's just like y'all are. But then the con to that is what usually would be a snow day and you wouldn't work at all. Now you work from home, so you still have to work.
Correct.
Like, dang, sorry, y'all.
Exactly. I'm
sorry
trying
to y'all.
Share our us as we talk about life and such.
Yeah, I mean, which gets me to thinking a little bit. Just want to send like all our like good vibes out to what's happening in Texas, and it's just really wild what's going on there for a place that usually can gloat about their amazing weather and to be hit with things that, like I said, we're so used to here in the Midwest and on the East Coast that we're like, what? Like these things are ultimately destroying, killing, taking lives. Like what?
Yeah, it's pretty bad out there, man. Like I'm really shocked at how they build them houses out there, man, because they cannot withstand. And also I've been wondering, like, how is their water, like, is it gas or is it electric? Because
I'm confused by all of that.
I feel like it shouldn't. I mean, if you have running water in your house and your hot water tank is fine here, essentially your pipes won't automatically freeze because you're still running hot water through the pipes.
Right.
I don't understand. Like, I don't understand what's going on out there. Like, how are they building these houses? And it's a shame to know that in a place where the weather can be different, because in Florida it can snow. There's nothing against it. Can snow in Florida. It can snow in Texas. So for it to be a known unknown kind of, and it's not anything where they prepared them for that in their homes. That's what's crazy to me. Like, oh my God, can you imagine? Because I saw a lot of videos of people who had really, really, really nice houses. These are not houses in the slums. These are not houses in the hoods or the ghettos. These are
These are
houses
like
with
quarter mil, like half a
yeah,
milli houses, like and properties just
falling
offices
apart.
just falling apart, just crumbling. So wow, that threw me for a loop. I just was like, dang.
And it ain't even been like, how long has it been? Like a week, maybe?
Maybe about, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to say one of my friends like text me on Monday or something like, this is what I'm dealing with, like what, like, dang, that's crazy. And here
Yeah.
we are Thursday, like, oh
Right. And it's like they houses is falling apart. They don't have
yeah,
houses anymore. They don't have
crazy.
all the water on the floor.
Whew.
But I did see a video and I was kind of got mad at the dude. Um, he was like, should I go cut off the water main? Like, nah, just and then the ceiling fell.
Yeah, it's not funny, but it's crazy. Like during times like that, where your common sense just kind of
Going out the
sometimes,
window.
it is definitely like fight or flight type vibes, where it's like, you're either gonna make smart decisions or dumbass decisions.
Correct.
Sir, I don't
Correct.
need the state or people around you to tell you that. I need you to kind of think with your big brain and be like,
Right.
you know what?
Let me go outside
Maybe
since
if
I
I
know how to do that. Because
maybe if I
everybody don't
turned
know
off
how to
all
do that.
source of water.
Right, because everybody don't know how to do that. Everybody don't have
No.
the equipment to do that. So if you know how to
Nope.
do that and you can do that, that should have been the first thing you do. Not go
Period.
on TikTok.
You sound like the grandmas and the mothers and the fathers on
Oh
TikTok talking
shit!
about
I said a TikTok.
what a
Oh my
TikTok,
god.
what a TikTok.
Oh my god. So hey everybody, just wanted to say hi.
Hey y'all,
Hello. Thank you for
what it do?
coming. Thank you for coming, Moon X Keeper. Thank you for being here. Really Rail. I'm trying to say you by your name on the
Really
internet.
real.
Rail 7 Rail. I mean Rail 7 Rail 7. That's what it is. Yes. Got it. We're in that thing.
In that thing.
Thank you so much for coming and joining us today. If you're watching this after the fact on the Two Snaps in a Circle YouTube, yes, we have a YouTube now. Pow in your face. We doing things. Things is happening. Come over to Twitch and follow me at Chevy the Superstar. Follow Toya at Point of View Finder. Follow us on Instagrams too as the Superstar Latoya Cox. Do that as well. Just follow us on everything. For Twitter too. But Twitter for me is the same as my Instagram. Toya, what's your Twitter?
Same.
It's the same. Okay.
Yep.
So there you go. You got some things that you have to do, some little bit of homework. So just, do those things. And yes, it will make everybody's life happier because then everybody can just be here and be happy and be great and keep doing stuff. So today what we do next? Movie news, right?
Movie news.
Okay.
But just real quick, as we've always loved to state to our future viewers, like, you can scrub ahead. We got the chapters. So if you want to get right to the movie, today's Moonlight, if you want to get right to it, you can do that. But I think you might want to stick around for the movie news. I think you might want to stick around and come in around live so you can get prizes and points and like, come on now, like be involved when we do this live. But for those who are watching in the future, we appreciate you just as much. Movie news.
I'm sorry. I'm having dog issues. I'm having an animal.
Pep, what you doing over there, Pep?
She's trying to be on the stream. That's really what she's trying to do. She's pushing my leg. She pushing me.
Can't fight it.
She left now. I guess she mad. Okay, so movie news. Let's get into it. Okay. There is a Mr. and Mrs. Smith show in development on Amazon Prime, and it will star Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, and Phoebe Walker-Bridge from the show Fleabag, and funny thing, they were both in Solo. She wasn't like physically in the movie, but I don't know how they shot her character. She was playing like a droid. But they were both in that movie, so I don't know if they connected there. But they also both have things on Amazon, so I don't know if they connected there. But anyway, that's just a little thing to put out
Oh,
there.
fun fact. Yeah.
Um, what do you think about this? So I was reading an article the other day, and it was talking about Black Widow, the Marvel movie, about the late great character of the Black Widow, Romanoff, there, played by my girl Scarlett Johansson. Uh-oh. Jarrell said he ain't for that. He ain't for that Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah, bro. Look, I had seen a teaser video, and I was like, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, as in Brad and Jolie. Are we talking about Angela?
Yeah,
Like,
no.
I don't know. Like, but whatever. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, where was I? Pepper. I'm sorry. Pepper is really acting like
right. Like, what are you on
right
today,
now.
girl?
Like his son.
What are you on today?
She is on what she's always on.
We're just gonna have to let it fly.
What do you think about this? They're not.
Yeah.
They will not. They will not release this movie until people can go to theaters. I'm sorry. Pepper, I can't. Hold on.
Go ahead. What movie again?
Hey, stop.
Here I am. I don't even know what movie we talking about. What movie? What movie haven't been released?
Black Widow.
Oh, Black Widow. Black Widow. Okay.
I'm sorry. Pepper is just doing too much. They won't release this until we can go to theaters to see it. They refuse it.
Look, man. I don't know. Is this out of like rebellion? Is this like they're just like, oh my god, like we're tired of selling our movies to these platforms?
Well, Scarlett Johansson does not want it to go to any. They don't want it to go to the Disney Plus Premiere Access. She wants her movie to go to theaters. I don't know why I can't say theater, but yeah.
I mean, I guess like I need to know. I need more. I need them to give me more reasoning behind it, like to truly understand that. Like, look what's going on in our world. You know, people are meeting up regardless in huge groups, unmasked. So you're asking for people to go out like to go into the world. I don't know. I don't even. I feel like I'm about to talk in circles. It sounds selfish. It sounds selfish. Period. It sounds hella selfish to make a decision like that.
I mean, me and Devin was talking about it the other day, and we basically was saying that the Marvel films are released by design. So every Marvel film is related to the next Marvel thing that comes out. So the fact that the film has not come out yet, we are missing a piece of the puzzle anyway, because it was supposed to relate to what we have in front of us now, WandaVision and Falcon, Winter Soldier and the Falcon, and anything else that comes out after this is all connected. So whatever her ending credits was going to be, because her movie isn't taking place in the current times, it's taken because she dead. Spoiler alert, if you don't know. But like, so there is something there that we didn't get unless they re-edited the film and took it out and put it in something else. But this is the first thing we've gotten from Marvel since Spider-Man. So whatever void she was supposed to fill, we don't know what her story, how her story was going to be intertwined until the next phase of Marvel, because we still haven't seen it. And that's the most unfortunate part.
And I totally see that, and I understand that. Like, the continuity of the story is kind of just like a little thrown off. But what is the difference between this and the way other films have been released over the past year. I mean, and what movies have been released that should have been? Will Black Widow be the first of the Marvel series of this whole like storyline that's being released on the platform? I mean, other this will be the first one.
That's a movie, yes.
Yeah,
The
that's
only other big blockbuster movie that has been released on VOD has been Wonder Woman. That was expected to do, because Wonder Woman would have done, regardless if the movie was bad or not, it would have done just as good as the first one because the first one was so good.
Mm-hmm.
And they were supposed to come out around the same. Well, no, Wonder Woman was supposed to come out like March, April of last year, something like that. Black Widow was supposed to come out, I think, around my birthday. So no, around Devin's birthday. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like everybody knows that everybody's gonna go see Black Widow because that's the first Marvel movie we've gotten since we've lost the Avengers, we've lost Tony Stark, we've lost her character, yeah. We've lost Captain America, we got Peter Parker, we talked about and kind of grieved Tony Stark, but we didn't have a chance to grieve her. We're going to have a chance to grieve Captain America in the Winter Soldier TV show. But now we don't have that moment to dive deeper into her character because she does not have a standalone movie. This is the first one.
Yeah, and then to be replaced to be released on the platform is kind of like literally stealing from the moment that a lot of people have been waiting for. I don't know. It's just
we do not listen. What if the movie bad? Like how Wonder Woman was. What if it's received the same way? Because we all know fanboys are harder on women characters than men characters anyway.
All the time.
Already gonna do it bad. But what if the movie's just not good? All the Marvel movies are not considered great masterpieces.
To me, that's what you run a risk with the whole like being like it's only going to be released in theaters. Now, those of people like myself who are very new to all of this will just say, "I'll wait."
Right. So DVD.
I'll just wait till it comes out later. Like
right, because if it's bad and I got to risk my life to go see it, then it's no point of me going. Now, if it was bad and it was just bad and it was just a regular day, I probably still go see it.
Right, but when what's at stake is going on, I just say fall in line with what other people have done. And if people care that much about everything you just said, the story and how it matters and the continuity of it all, they're going to find a way.
I'll pay $30 to see Black Widow. I ain't even playing with you. I paid $30 on premium access.
So people are going to find a way. Let that happen. And as always, let the people be the judge of it, because that's what is going to come down to.
Correct.
Just like you said, Wonder Woman 84 was going to do what it was going to do, regardless if you saw it on a regular old day, pre-COVID, or not of COVID in a different universe, or if it was COVID and it was still released out and then you seen it on HBO Max. So
right. So if you're just joining us and joining our chat, I just want to let y'all know we're doing movie news right now. So we're just talking about the fact that Black Widow is not ever probably gonna go to VOD. So we don't have to wait on that. So continuing with movie news, they put the Chappelle Show back on Netflix, and Dave Chappelle is getting paid. So that's a good
thing. Time.
So you can now watch the Chappelle Show and feel good about yourself.
Right. I was like, when will the time come where I just literally want to watch the Prince episode.
I don't watch that. I'm not even gonna lie. I've seen a couple of episodes, but I don't watch that show.
Come on, man.
Just a couple episodes.
Come on, man.
Maybe one day. Maybe I'll try it now that it's okay.
Especially now that it's okay. That is
Let's see. Bam Margera was cut from the Jackass 4 movie. Who knew they were making a Jackass 4 movie?
Right? Who knew?
Who knew that was something to be cut from? But yeah, he was cut from it, and then after that, he released a video saying that he suffers from bipolar disorder. And he was going to check
Totally
himself
does.
into some form of rehab to get himself together. Good for him. Um,
Yes.
Fox is developing a Clue animated TV show. I don't know why it took me so long to say that. Oh man. Yeah, Clue. And,
Yeah. Who
and
doesn't want to see? Look, man, people are doing murder mystery dinners and escape rooms. And Clue is what started it all, in my opinion.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying maybe now I can play Clue because when I was a kid, baby, no thank you. Too much. Too much. I never tried to play it again, but I do enjoy the movie. I do
Yeah,
enjoy
I've never seen the movie.
Oh, the movie is hilarious.
Really? Okay, I'll
Young
have to see
Tim
the movie.
Curry acting in it. No, it's good though. But all the spoofs on like Family Guy and different
Yeah.
cartoons. So it'd be good to see like if they make it a kid type cartoon or if they make it an adult
Mhm.
themed cartoon. But it's probably gonna be adult themed if it's Fox because animation down
Most likely. Yeah,
they
Fox.
still have not found anything to fill that 9:30 spot. They really have not. That
So
9:30
this is
spot,
it.
the hardest spot to
This
fill.
is this is the one.
Maybe we'll see. Okay. It's a lot of cartoon news dropping this week. Tim Burton is creating a TV show on Netflix about Wednesday Addams. I would like
Okay, yeah, that's exciting. That's exciting. Always rocked with Wednesday.
let's see. Jamie Foxx is going to be in a new TV show. I don't know what channel. But it's called Dad Stop Embarrassing Me. I hope that's not the title, but I think it is.
I believe it is. Let's hope it's a working title.
And it's executive produced by his daughter, actually.
Mm-hmm.
The clips looked funny. It looks
Yeah.
cool to see him back in that space. What up, though, Stacy?
What to do, Stacy?
It's good to see him back in that space. TV comedy, him in comedy in general. To see him back in that space.
Period.
I didn't forgot how to say the name of this book.
Sui. Sui.
Okay, so the book that Lupita Nyong'o wrote for children. What Toya said.
Sui.
Getting
that's how she said on Google. Sui.
It's getting a TV show, guys. So let's clap it up for Black excellence. Okay. All right. Where am I? Keke Palmer is gonna be the star in the next Jordan Peele movie, whatever that may be. We don't know yet. We don't know if it's gonna be horror. We don't know if it's gonna be a comedy. We don't know, but we know Keke Palmer is the leading lady in the film. I would like to see her in do some more horror stuff because she did like Scream Queens and stuff. I want to see her do like some horror stuff. Or Keke Palmer is a good low key actress who don't get enough work. She don't get enough work.
She does not. I totally agree.
And I think she needs a breakout role. It would be nice if she was a scream queen on her own accord. She already got some. She learned from the best. Jamie Lee Curtis. Come on.
Oh, and then I did pronounce that name wrong. It's Sue.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, I forgot. Okay. I forgot. Now we wait.
Charge it to our
pretty much. Yeah,
not our heart.
Yep.
Okay, so Kenan Thompson had a new show that premiered the other day, and The Rock. I have not seen either one of them, but The Rock's is certified fresh. So I mean,
already,
I mean,
it's I've seen a little bit, and it's giving me what's that show? Fresh Off the Boat, kind of like Mix-ish. It's giving me that vibes. So I've seen a couple funny clips, and I think like Dwayne Johnson, he deserves that. He deserves a sitcom show based on his life and the funny things, because that's the one part that I believe that he shared a lot of things about his life and how he grew up. But I think a lot of people, when we talk about representation, I think that is going to be a nice, like, it's nice to have that. It's nice to have that.
It looked like it's gonna be like mixed-ish to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was
Yep.
giving me mixed-ish vibes. Let's see. I'm almost done. I only got one more thing. There were two trailers that dropped this week. Well, it was more than two trailers that dropped,
Right.
but
Look,
the
I
two,
have now followed Rotten Tomatoes, and gosh,
yes, it's a
it's,
lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff I don't talk about.
I'm like, oh snap! You can make a whole show about movie news.
Yes, you really can. It's a lot of stuff that I don't talk about, but yeah, I mean, two trailers that I care about dropped this week. It's a lot of other stuff that dropped. I saw a lot of other interesting things, but I felt like they might be only interesting to me. So I will talk about these two trailers because Emma Stone, it will be playing Cruella DeVille in the new Cruella DeVille movie, and it gave me freaking Dark Knight vibes. I can't even lie.
Yeah,
It gave me Dark Knight vibes.
yeah, I'm with you. I was like,
It's like Sherlock Holmes and Dark Knight type.
yes, yes,
Just
you're
straight up.
like
I'm like,
dead
what
on with that.
is this Disney? Like
That's why I was like, Disney.
and Emma Thompson is in it as well, and I do enjoy a good Emma Thompson in a film. I'm sure some other people in it, but I didn't look all into it like that. The trailer looked cool, but I don't know what it's about. It's kind of hard to peg those movies because Disney doesn't really give you a history on Disney villains for real, and I love them. And it's not like a etched in stone history. They literally can do whatever they want because they weren't the focus. So
who will Emma Thompson be playing?
The Baroness.
The Baroness. See, and I'm interested in that more than anything because, like, I'm realizing how much of Cruella DeVille's story I don't know.
I mean, who does? I mean, maybe somebody.
That's good to know that I'm not by myself. Because I thought I was missing something. Like,
but we didn't know Maleficent's story. I didn't know Maleficent's story before.
This makes story, yeah. I mean, hey, this whole story trope of like telling the villain's story, I love that. I think that is, something that has caught over the last decade, I mean, I'm gonna say the last decade, but definitely like
breaking into fashion.
Oh, that's lit. That's lit though. I'm excited. I'm
breaking into fashion.
I'm very excited about this.
I love it.
And like Emma Stone, period. Just like, it's good to see her again. It's good to see her.
That's the part about it that I don't
really know. What do you're not convinced of the accent, the acting? What is
I'm not convinced by any of it, to be honest. I don't know. I'm not saying I'm not an Emma, what's her name?
Stone.
Stone fan. Yeah. Her name just too many Emmas. I was about to say,
yeah, I was like, you say Emma Thompson. I was like, oh, she's talking about the other one.
Yeah. It's just coincidence that they both Emmas and they are leading ladies in the movie. Yes, I'm looking forward to it as well. Moon X Keeper. It looks very interesting, but I don't know. I didn't really like the way she played Gwen Stacy. The last movie that yes, Spider-Man, sorry. The last movie I really liked her in was Easy A. So I don't know.
Take it back.
I don't know, I don't know. But I also never seen La La Land, which I think is something that we need to visit at some point because
how convenient you bring up La La Land when we're talking about Moonlight today.
Because they were nominated in the same year, right?
Yes, they were. That was in fact what they said actually had won instead of saying.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, I ain't know that.
Yeah, you did it. That's crazy.
Because I forgot to do that little hint of research today. Because I knew it was there for award season like heavy, but I didn't know.
Yeah, blew everybody off their feet.
Now, what other trailer dropped today?
Mortal.
Oh, you can say it.
Oh, Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun,
dun. You should have said it like that.
Mortal
Kombat. That trailer made me shed a tear because it was just that amazing. I have never not been a fan of anything Mortal Kombat has done. I like the movies. I like the shorts. I like the cartoons. I like the
I
game.
never got into the shorts or
Oh my God.
or the what did you just say, the cartoon?
Yeah.
I never got into I never knew. I don't think I ever
It's all
knew.
on the internet.
But I love
It's
the
like,
movies and I love the game.
it's all on the internet, right?
Really?
So
Okay,
like
I'm gonna have
every
to go
time
check
they
that out
drop
more.
a game, it seems like they come out with some type of mini series online. Old dude
Really?
Sean, who was in how why did I get married? He was in the last like live action series that they did after they released the first new Mortal Kombat that came on the systems. I think it was
Okay.
not this one, but the one before that. And he was Jax, and that's what everybody always wanted to see him play Jax, because people don't realize like he's a trained martial artist. He was freaking Spawn, and the fact that he was like one of the first black superheroes before, well, not superheroes because he was an anti-hero before Blade, and he didn't get his due is frustrating to me personally.
For sure.
Like he was Jax and it was so good, but they didn't finish it. Like they never finished them. They do a few episodes and then they kind of stop. But I'm always here for it. This trailer is everything that I feel anybody who is a fan of Mortal Kombat ever envisioned for Mortal Kombat when technology was on the level that Mortal Kombat has always been trying to be on, but they couldn't show it all because
yes.
the world.
It's like yes. Because anytime I ever watched Mortal Kombat, what was that, 96?
96, 97, something like that.
Yeah. When I watched that, I always thought, like, I'm talking about after a time, as we got into the 2000s and 2010s, and I would watch it, I was like, man, if they came out with that ish now, oh my gosh, like,
yeah,
it would be great. And so I'm geeked.
Yeah, like the first scene of Jax literally getting his arms frozen off by, I was like, oh my God!
I'm like,
oh my God. Sub-Zero Mortal Kombat fighting, throwing him through the ice smoke, or what's his name? Noob Sabat, that's his name, coming in and like, oh my gosh.
Who's this Cole character? Who was that?
I don't know that guy, but I don't know that guy.
Like, was the story of Liu Kang just too overdone? So they were like, let's just bring in a new damn character person. I'm interested.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't know him, but I wonder who he related to and like what's his story, because
and so maybe that's what will make this new and fun.
Song, and he's supposed to be like the sacrifice for him to get all the souls and become controller of the combat, Mortal Kombat. That's probably what it is, something like that.
Yeah, most likely. You just narrowed it on down.
But when I saw Goro and Katana,
man,
and the her face, and like, oh my God, like everything about it is like watching the game, the fatalities, them doing everything that they was doing, like
yep.
Oh my God, because the storyline on the game is just the best. It's the best.
Really? Yeah,
I watched Devin play it, like, because I can't. It's too much.
Yeah, I've seen play versus each other, but I've never seen the actual like gameplay where you kind of go through.
Oh my God, yes, you
got never seen it done that way.
Wow. I watched Devin play not this whole last one that just came out, but the one before that. I would go over to the house because now it's easier for me because I can just watch him stream it. But I used to go over to the house and I used to sit there and watch him play Mortal Kombat and beat the game, and I could see the whole story. Because I can't beat
that's
the game.
Lit.
So
that's lit. Yeah, I'm excited. I am a fan of Mortal Kombat, and I've always, if anything, I've always wondered what it would be like if a movie came out during this time.
Right.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, why not?
You don't hear that a lot.
Yeah. You should be a bigger fan of Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is the most amazing thing ever. One of the most amazing.
Honestly, like, I still to this day say whoopsie.
Whoopsie, exactly. Yes. When you do the uppercut.
You can bring in players, you can bring in like it became really, really cool.
Yeah,
like,
they brought a lot of that stuff back with the new game. They brought back the friendships the bestialities, the animalities. They
Yeah.
brought all of that stuff back with this new
Yeah.
one. And then now they be putting like, they'll have Freddy Krueger on there, or Joker, or Jason, or the Terminator.
That's fun. That's fun. I need to play the more updated. See, I don't play video games as an adult, so I've kind of slipped off from that world. So even my favorite things like car racing games and basketball, I just never really played as we stepped into the like late 2000s. I kind of let that go back when I was a kid, when I was a teenager. So
well, yeah, I understand. But just to throw this out there, speaking of video games, first of all, I believe Moonlight Keeper is not your taste because it's so nasty. Because
it's a little gory.
It's nasty. And the new one is very like throw up nasty. Like, oh my God.
Like they really pull out the spine.
Yeah, it's bad now, child. It's bad. It's bad. And the blood just be running.
And they can get so realistic with it.
Oh yeah, it's bad now.
It's real.
Sometimes you really be sitting there like, is this really happening to this person? But just to throw this little video game news out there, I just want to throw this out there. They are bringing Fall Guys to Switch and Xbox this summer. Gotta wait till the summer, but at least I got a Switch and an Xbox, so now I'm gonna be able to play it without having to buy a PC or a PlayStation 4 or 5. So that's funny. Well, that is the movie news for today.
All right. Movie news.
We need like a little song for that.
I know. I'm going to get us like a little soundboard or something so I can kind of like
yeah, like one of them like buttons.
Yeah, for sure.
Movie news. Movie news. Yeah. I just did the emu. That's what
you did. No, look, I know people coming for us.
Right? Chill. All right. All the laughing is about to stop now.
Oh, yes, it is. For all the silliness that you have endured up into this point.
Throw it out the window.
Because we're about to get into some serious stuff.
Serious stuff. So Toya chose for us this week a movie, a wonderful film called Moonlight, about a young man. What is it? I gotta find the thing. Did you have it pulled up? Because I do.
I got you. Okay. So I think IMDb does a great job of pulling this together. Moonlight, a young African-American man grapples with his identity and sexuality while experiencing the everyday struggles of childhood, adolescence, and burgeoning. I hate that word because I don't know how to say it correctly. Adulthood.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, and I mean, and to even be more specific of the way that they did it in the film, they break it down in 3 like chapters, and the chapters are him as a young boy, as a teenager, and then as a grown man. And it's Little, Chiron, and Black.
I don't remember seeing the title for the second one.
They snuck that one in. They snuck that one in. The way that it transitioned, it may have been. It's not the scene. Ooh, is it the scene of the bath going out to the ocean, or is it the scene of when he's at dinner and he asked them about I can't remember right now. I don't know why I can't remember.
When they did the title sequences for him as he was growing, they flashed like a blue light and they flashed like a red light. Yep. And then they would cut to him, and then like in the last one, and they said his name after they cut to him in a scene.
Because I know the scene that it opens up and he's in the classroom and he's admiring someone's face. But dang, I can't remember the last scene before it goes there. I'm not sure. He may have been at home, or it may have been the scene where he was getting yelled at by his mom.
I don't remember. And
I don't remember either. But
there is that a trick? What the hell is going on? That's what it got too far, so I wasn't rewinding it. I was trying to watch it on a little TV, and then as soon as they put up the title that said "little," I couldn't see what it said. So I said, "Okay, let me go somewhere else." I'm like, "What I say?"
Oh no, I gotta watch this somewhere else. I can't watch it on a little bit screen.
Hearing girl, how
Hey
you doing?
do what it do. Thanks for coming through. But yeah, Moonlight is an amazing film. We know that off top. After viewing it and hearing the amazing things that people have had to say about it for the last 4 years. But yeah, what opening scene? You're getting into the opening scene and you seeing what's happening. What were you thinking? What were you feeling as you stepped into it?
I mean, I just was like, okay, so what is this about? Well, I kind of knew what it was about, but like, okay, why? I don't know. I was trying to figure out like what the focus was supposed to be. Who was the focus was supposed to be? You know, this is not uncommon. You know what I'm saying? What happened? A drug dealer seeing a young child, a young boy being picked on, and him. This is what drug dealers. This is why gangs were created in the first place for protect their community. So it's not uncommon for a drug dealer to be daddy to all these kids without daddies, to buy the kids bikes, to make sure they eat, to make sure they get home. This is a common thing to see a drug dealer do something like this. But randomly for him to pull a window apart to come in, that was random. But I thought that it was a little, I have never been picked on to that extent, but my stories can have been to an extent that is kind of outlandish in a way where it's like, really, this is really how
life. Yeah,
people pick on people. Like, this is really what people do. I just thought it was very interesting to see that depicted that way. And, yeah, that movie was a lot for me.
No, I'm not. Yeah, that opening scene like tells a lot after seeing it a few times. Even what you're talking about, like him taking the cardboard off. Well, this was the first watching this. This was the first time that hit me where it was like how he even knew to do that was the fact that it's probably him and his boys, just like you said, that do that. They understand what happens in that building. They know that that's where they fiends go to shoot up. They know that this is where they probably use the stairs sometime to trap and give out their goods. Maybe they hide stuff in these places. So he knew that he could rip that off. And I wouldn't be surprised if you had a bonus scene or an inside look to the world that he called one of them boys and told them to go nail that back up, or if he maybe not did it himself later. And so, like I said, now looking at that, I was like, wow, Little is literally looking at the man that he is going to become.
Yes. Yeah, but the only reason why he became that man is because that was the role model that he had.
Oh, completely. You talking about like product of your environment? That was directly so. And when you're talking about this is what drug dealers do, I felt like the thing that made this just a tad different was in usual stories of the drug dealer helping out his community, he's typically bringing those young people in and putting them to work. He did the complete opposite, where he was like, my idea is not to groom you up to be a drug dealer. I am going to groom you and obviously giving you look like some love and affection that you're missing, like something that you're missing. And they didn't know that off top, but I think that they realized that.
I think he did. That's the only reason why he helped him. I truly believe that he knew what the situation was. I don't think
from the moment that he seen him get in face.
Yeah, I think that them kids go around them, like, that's the one thing about the movie that was another part of the sadness for me, is that the first 2 chapters of his life he was surrounded by the same people. Yep. They lived in the same neighborhoods. They stayed in the same community. So if they said you was gay when you was 5, you're gay.
All the way up until you don't see those people ever in your life.
And it's not like you go to the school up the street. Like, I ain't go to the neighborhood school. So if I was getting picked on at the school that I went to, I would get in my car with my mom and my dad and I would go home, and that would be the end of that until the next day. He literally lived in the same neighborhood with the kids who was picking on him. He
Yep.
could not escape it. And on top of that, his home life, well, at first they don't allude to the fact that the mom is just like, because I don't think was she like that from jump, or
Yeah.
did she like
So,
that?
so I read a really great review about the film, and the way that they saw it, I thought was a bit eye-opening, was that she was grappling with drug addiction in a whole different type of way, where, where I think it was like giving her something to do instead of like this was her circumstance. She seemed like a woman that worked and got out there and did what she had to do. But maybe in the meantime, this was like a thing that she did on the side. Like it was not for pleasure. Like, I have to find the line, but continue though about this whole conversation of like his mom, his home life.
Well, first, before I even get into all that, I just want to say that I feel like this film is not a cohesive film. I feel like it's a blip of his life, the best parts and the worst parts of his life that made him who he is. So I don't feel like there was ever like a moment where everything kind of just flowed together. It went together because it was his life, but does it all make sense? Is it all cohesive? No, because we're picking up here and then we're going here and then we're doing this and then we're doing that, because we're showing these blips of the things that made him who he was as a man. And I just started thinking about like all the things that we don't talk about that shape us as people, that because a lot of times we don't realize as people that we're shaped from our hurt more than we are from our happiness. And
Speak that.
those are the moments that kind of make you who you are. And if somebody was making a movie of your life, like for me, for instance, would they talk about, oh, we two snaps in a circle, or would they talk about the times when I got picked on as a kid? First of all, what makes a better movie? And what are the things that made you who you are? And those are the moments that make you who you are, no matter how sad they are. And it's hard to watch the saddest moments of a man's life play out in blips, and you never get to really see or hear him speak about it because of the type of person it has turned him into, even at the age of like 8 or 9 or 10. And the movie is just very hard to watch for me. It's a sad ass movie. The majority of the movie, I either had a frog in my throat or I was just crying because it's sad.
Yeah.
Or I was crying tears of joy because it was happy. And it was just like, it was just no in between.
No, totally.
But from his childhood, the most beautiful scene for me, because Marsala Ali won an Oscar for being in the movie for 15 minutes, which speaks a lot to his character, because I just knew he was still alive. And when chapter 2 popped up, and then I found out he wasn't even there no more, and I'm like, he won a whole ass Oscar for this movie? Holy crap, man! But the most beautiful part was watching a black man teach a black boy how to swim.
Yes.
That was beautiful.
Yes, absolutely beautiful. It goes back to what you were talking about, though, those blips, those moments that make up a person's life. And you are correct. I'm sure that there were times with his mom that he absolutely loved her, and he wanted to do her proud, and he wanted to do right by her. And I'm sure that every day wasn't that way. I mean, I think that they did an amazing job of showing how it got there, right? But that was one of those times that not just bonded those two characters, but I believe to the audience showed us a part of being black that we don't get to see a lot, the trope of black people don't swim.
Right.
You have this man who is of what some people would not deem as a great career, right? Being a drug
Oh,
dealer, being a hood dude, teaching another little boy, another little black boy how to swim. Even the character Little getting into the waters made me feel like that may have been his first time being in the
yeah,
ocean.
yeah,
To
yeah.
think that you live somewhere like that, we vacate, we go places to experience that. These people live there and they are so
But
bogged down by their life that they sometimes don't even step out to
right.
see what's literally at the edge of
I
their
mean, but how many people you know or knew had never been to Canada, and we 15 minutes away? You know what I'm saying? Never been to Cedar Point. Never
yeah,
been. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
right,
Like,
right, right, right. Here's the black experience. Like,
right, right. It's right in your backyard, and you can't go because of your circumstance.
mm-hmm.
What other part of that movie did I have? Okay, so
Let's just move to the second chapter. Let's move to the second chapter.
no, I got stuff.
Oh, you got stuff? Okay.
I got stuff.
I like
Okay, so the mama wasn't okay, so this was my thing. Um, they kind of alluded to the fact that the mom was a good mom. Maybe she just
yeah.
wasn't, maybe he just didn't like his home life. But then you have that scene where before we know she doing drugs, where he at home, he boiling water to take
Mm-hmm.
a bath, and now
Mm-hmm.
you confused, like, what the hell, mama? I thought you was good. You was just telling him he can't watch TV, he need to read a book. What the hell, mama? What just
Right.
happened?
No, I felt that this time too. I was like, whoa, it just hit me. The switch up. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I found it. So it says Paula, who goes on drug binges less to alleviate her sadness than to express her wrath against the world and especially against her son, who she thinks keeps her from the world. And I
Mhm.
thought that was such an interesting perspective about, why somebody would do drugs. You
But
know,
at that time, because what time is that supposed to be?
I,
That's
I
supposed to
believe it's
be,
supposed to be the 80s.
yeah. So I mean, a lot of people got addicted to crack because they thought it wasn't, and they just was doing it like how people do other drugs, like how people smoke weed. They was thinking like, oh, it's
Yeah.
cool, and I could use this to get. And I mean, and then
Yeah,
she got
right.
addicted.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
got addicted. So
Not
I
not when
mean,
we talking about like cocaine, like party drug. It's a social thing. It's the same reason so many people pick up a bottle, you
right,
know?
right.
You do it to what they said, alleviate the sadness,
Right.
and what in turn really created was that expressiveness of wrath because it's like, why are you so mean? You know,
I mean, she was mean when she wasn't high. She was high when she was
she's
high.
just a mean person.
I think she was just a sad, miserable person.
Hmm.
That's just it. I just think even when the man brought her son to her, there was nothing nice about her. There was nothing nice about her, the way she talked to her son. But even when I saw how he was dressed from the scene of him being chased, I said, he that kid who mama got a job, but she ain't got a good job. He don't, his clothes too baggy. He don't have a haircut. He lanky. He the only one with the uniform on. He don't have no good shoes. Don't he got enough stuff going against him already?
Period.
Like, dang.
Dang.
So we gonna add the discussion of sexuality on top of all of this.
Mm, you know,
Then his
and,
mom wanna be a crackhead on top of all of it too.
and
Like,
that's right. And that's where I feel where Barry Jenkins did an amazing job with that. Um is giving us all of those tropes, giving us things that we've seen before, that we've either seen from someone else, lived through ourselves, and or just seen on television, right? But not make it feel stereotypical, not make it feel like this has been done before, or why black people always gotta be, it just felt real.
No, it wasn't nothing about that that pissed me off from a black
Not,
person standpoint. It's just like this is normal life.
yep,
What this drug dealer, I'm supposed to be mad at the drug dealer for helping this kid because he's a drug dealer? No, drug dealers do this. They help put kids through college. They buy bikes for kids.
yep,
They keep them off the corners if they
yep.
know they worth something. That and
Mm-hmm.
that's sad to say it like that, but they do. If you want to
True.
get into this game, I'll show you how to do it. If you want to be something more, I'll help you be more
Mm-hmm.
because I can't be because I got to be on this block.
Yep. Period.
So it was nothing about that movie that made me feel like I was watching something so outlandish or disrespectful or painting our community or culture in a bad light. It just is
Mm-hmm.
what it is. This is the circumstances, and then some people got a little bit more to deal with it, like sexuality
Yes.
or whatever, disability or learning disability or whatever it
Mm-hmm.
may be. So on top of all the things that he had to deal with, he had to deal with this as well. And from the perspective, well, I don't have that perspective, but from that perspective, viewing it from a young black man's perspective is it's a really interesting story because it's not my life. Just like watching a black man be pulled off by the police, I will never have that experience. And being able to see that and understand it, but also from his character's perspective, he was already introverted because he got picked on for so many other things.
Yeah. Being black.
Being poor.
Being poor.
Being whatever. You know what I'm saying? Being
What
called
he alludes
little.
to later
I mean,
on in the film as black is I'm me. Just
right.
being me
Yep.
has disrupted so many others around me that, like, or the whole masculinity thing, like the softness,
Right.
which they talk about a lot in the beginning as little to kind of set you up for. It kind of speaks to the conversation we were having the other day where it's as a child, you are told what you are and who you are before you even figure it all out. So then you grow up with all that on your back, swirling around in your head. And how are you supposed to let those things go and understand what you're feeling when you've already been told, girls don't do that. Boys don't do that. Girls like this, boys like that. Well, if you want to be into this, then you got to do that.
Right. But that's the society we live in.
That is
Still,
we
whether
live.
people want to believe it or not. But question.
Yes.
Was Kevin the little boy he was wrestling with when he
Yes.
was little? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Was Dreadhead Boy a part of them group of kids too?
Most likely, probably.
But
They
they didn't
don't.
shed
They
a
don't make
light on
it. Yeah, they don't make it very for sure. But his relationship with him kind of it's just what you said earlier. Like, he may have not have been one of them boys, but it got picked up somewhere and carried on, and he carries that with him throughout his whole school career. That whoever, to me, it looks like that character, the Dread, I think his name was Trail or Terrell. He didn't care. The scene so reminiscent of all the high school movie bullies that you see, just tormenting everyone.
He really was. I was like, oh, so we just gonna add fuel to the fame and just
like,
well, basically what I really think they was doing in that scene was trying to show how much of a vine he put Kevin in, because he was just that Angelica-ish. You know what I'm saying?
My God. Like, I'm not only going to bother you and make your life a living hell, but I'm going to do it in front of everybody. So then maybe if they want to tag along too, they can and they will. So even when I'm not around, your life is like.
And not only that, I'm going to put fear in everybody else's heart, because Little wasn't, or Chiron wasn't a bad guy. Everybody seemed to like him except for this one guy. He came to school, he minded his business, he did what he's supposed to do. But this one guy, so no, I'm gonna mess with all of y'all. So when I beat this boy, but nobody comes to help him because y'all all scared of me. Because that's how I can get y'all on my side, because I don't have no reason to be picking on this boy. I don't have no reason to dislike him. But since I dislike him and nobody else feels either way about it, like, because what is he doing for me to feel this way about him? I'm gonna make y'all all scared of me. So you don't feel a way about him, but you too scared of me to stand up for him.
And much like most people who are tormented by that villainous rage in their head, he comes up with the genius,
Yeah.
evil genius plot of not doing it himself and literally taking the bad guy cloak off himself and putting it onto someone else. And not only someone else, but someone who honestly would never make that decision for themselves. Would
Mm-mm.
never. And that is a clear representation of putting the fear into someone.
Yeah, because
Because
that's what bullies do. That's what they do. That's how they operate. Whenever I've been bullied, the bully never pulled the trigger. The bully never threw the hoodie over my head. It was always the lackeys, the people who were afraid of the bully and what the bully would do to them. It's never them actually doing the dirty work. It's always someone else. And they stand there and watch and get their rocks off. They might come in later, throw a couple kicks and punches, but
yep.
it's just for effect so people know that it's real. But it's really not. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
Question: what was the scene in the room with the kids with the zippers? What the hell was they doing?
Oh, they were showing each other their penises.
Okay, so that was just the thing kids do. I'm not a boy. I don't
Yeah,
know.
and right. And it goes back to the whole thing about, and I had a similar this is kind of like
Girls don't show vaginas. I mean, I ain't
I've never
never.
done it with another female. This is even more weird though, but kind of like that same age, curious, and it happened with a relative. But it wasn't sexual at all. Like it wasn't, but it was one of those just like, what does yours look like? Oh, this is what mine's look like, you know? And I wouldn't be surprised, and this was a boy relative. I wouldn't be surprised if he learned it from other boys, did it with his other boyfriends, and was like, oh, I'm gonna come around my cousin and be like, what does yours look like? I wonder what yours look like. Kind of like that same age, you know, where it's just like curiosity killed the cat type vibes, where you do something odd like this. I've never admitted that to anyone, like, but hey, here we are. Two
Well,
snaps.
theoretically, what if Dreadhead was in the room with him as a
Mm,
child?
mm.
And because you got to think about it. If they all in the same neighborhood, they all go to the same middle school, they all
Most
go to the same,
likely,
it's the same boys growing up together. Now, what if they were doing more than just that? But these boys come to realize that that's not what they're into. So they move forward. But these boys are. And you never see them with girls. So you become the bully. And now you want to pick on them for what y'all used to do as a group of kids. You know what I'm saying? Because that's kind of, it kind of played in my mind.
you know
Because
what? And that's how all of those stories start off. When you think about Mean Girls, when you think about She's All That, they all were friends when they were younger in middle school, and then soon as like ninth grade hits, it's just I'm too cool for school, or I got picked up by this group, so I'm like leaving you behind, and I wanted to bring you, but we did that one weird thing where we kissed in seventh grade, or like, we kissed at that party, or you slept over and had period blood on the sheets and everybody shunned you away. Like, this is that.
yeah.
This is that moment.
Yeah.
And you know, that's my favorite part of thinking about stuff like that, those things that dig deeper into the story and give us a little bit more context of like why this has happened.
Right.
You know?
I mean, because it's just small pieces of the puzzle, and you can't. Because I mean, his day-to-day life, like we only got a small glimpse into that. The young man that he turned into, like there's a whole part of his life that is gone after he sit down with Marsala Ali and Janelle Monáe, and they have a beautiful conversation with him about what faggot means,
Yep.
what
That's my
what it
favorite part.
really means,
Yep, what it really means.
why it shouldn't be said, why he doesn't need to know who he is today.
Yep. That's my favorite part. That's my favorite part of that film.
And why it's gonna be okay. But
It's
also,
yes.
nigga, are you a drug dealer? Is my mama on drugs? Okay, deuces. Because you ain't right either. You cool, bruh, but you ain't right either.
And now let's put some things into perspective here.
But it's beautiful because he was like 10.
10.
And he don't say much, but He get to a point. He
Every
get to the point. I just thought that was beautiful. And then after that, we go into him in high school. Juan is dead.
Yep.
His mama a straight up crackhead now.
It's real now. There's no doubt about it that this woman is cracked out.
Cracked out, lips chapped, all that, face disheveled and
Don't got a
pale.
key to her house.
Don't do her hair ever.
Don't do her hair ever. Begging
Don't have a
for
job
money.
no more. Nothing.
I was watching that scene differently too, of, asking the questions like, why she don't have a key to the house? Like, is this something that Chiron made sure that she don't? Or like, is it just, she locked herself out? Because she locked herself out, but she got herself in. So it's like, was this just the setup? I felt like this was
because he was just gonna go to school. He was just gonna go to school with the same clothes that he had on the day before.
Right.
And he was just gonna go to school, and she wasn't gonna get what she wanted from him. But she was trying to get him locked up in the house so he wouldn't have no way out, because she know he a punk in a sense, softy, really.
Yeah.
And that he was gonna cave to whatever she was saying. But that's the manipulation of having a mama who on drugs and stuff, because he could have easily just went and stayed with Janelle Monáe's character. She would have welcomed him with open arms. But because
that's what she was telling him every time. Like,
he had a thing. That's his mama. If your mama tell you, it don't matter how high, how drunk, how whatever. If your mama say, "I'm your mama," I'm your mama. I'm your mama. That woman ain't no kin to you. That woman, you're never going to fully trust her.
Mm-hmm.
And who's to say he ever really trusts her? Because my biggest issue with Janelle Monáe's character, and not issue, but it's like the representation of who Juan was on the street and who he was in his home was two different men. Completely. You know what I'm saying? He had the way he even spoke about, but he was Cuban, so he was from Cuba, so his mindset was different anyway. But a woman like that, I don't know her story, but the way she talked, the way she presented herself, the way she represented herself was like she was a strong Black woman who knew what was right and knew what was wrong and blah, 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 blah. But she was dating a full-on drug dealer.
Period.
And you expect me to trust you when you knew he was a drug dealer and you knew he was taking the drugs?
I think that they purposely left out her reaction to him asking those questions to Juan, because watching it this time around with the perspective that I'm watching it, not just for entertainment, I was like, what does she has to say about this? That's when
did you see how Little looked at her when she asked that question, and he looked at him and he put his head down and he looked at her? Did she even know?
Yeah, that's what I was like. Do we just burst a bubble here? Like, did we break a like? Did she think he was into construction?
I mean, she could have thought anything, but but that just lets you know the normalcy of it in the African American community.
Yeah,
it's plenty of women who nurses, go to college, blah 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 blah, and they date full-on drug dealers and be in committed relationships with them and love them, because that's just the normalcy of where we come from. You know what I'm saying? That's nothing against nobody. That's just the normalcy of our community and the things that people have to do to survive. And it's just that. I can't hold it against you, because I mean, what else would you be doing? What else can you do? What else will they let you do? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was an interesting scene, because I did look at him, look at her, and it was like, ooh.
Yep. Even when my favorite acting moment from Janelle Monáe, or I think her name was Teresa in the movie, is when she tells him not to dig deeper, with the whole as they were talking about the F word.
Face.
Yeah, she kind of like, don't need to. You don't need to dig in deeper. Like, you need to just say what you just said. Finito.
Yeah, oh, she's good. That's what I'm saying.
I know, like, I don't know who told you to do that. I don't know if that was Barry. I don't know if Barry wrote it with the, the other writer. Because, this is because this is a screenplay. um or not a screenplay, a stage. Is that what they call it? A stage play,
Right.
right?
Yeah, that's a play. Yeah, if
Yeah.
it's on the stage.
Yeah. And so or where the story at least is by, it sounds like a playwright, a gay black playwright named Terrell McCraney or something. Yeah, McCraney. Yep, I think that's how you say his name. But like, damn, like, who told you to do that? Who said that? Like, that was good. I like
I
that.
was like, "Ooh, I love that. You better
Love
do it,
that.
girl."
Oh
Y'all
my!
wanna I'm like, "Why don't y'all have no kids?" That's what I kept
I
saying.
know. I know.
Well, damn, like,
Man, I know that this movie had a whole different, you know, point, but I would love to see how, I would love to see that character in the context of how, he got to that moment. I would love to know more. Even knowing how, like, Juan passed, I would
yeah,
love to.
like, did he pass? Because he got, well, not
Yeah, they just
COVID,
kind
but
of left it up to us to be like,
like, did he get shot in the drug deal gone wrong, or did he, like, just have a heart attack? Like, you know what
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying?
right. It would, yeah. I was very interested in all of that, but they did those things to obviously make sure that they didn't steal away from who we were all there for, which was Chiron.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
So, do
know,
you think that Kevin was lying when he said he was having sex with a girl at the school?
uh, hmm. I battled with that this time around too. I
I think he's quarterback. So,
no, totally. Come on, if we want to drop labels, I want it because I definitely want us to discuss that. Um, part of me believed he was. Part of me believed that it was true, but he was hyping it up to get a rise out of Chiron to see how he. It may have been true, but he was only telling him to see how he would react.
yeah, people do that.
And I don't believe that he was doing, because even when, hold on, what does Chiron ask him? What does Chiron ask him at the end of that scene? Towards the end of that scene, dang, I forget, but like, because because then he says, "You nosy," and it's like,
Yeah, but you just told me, like,
so now that I'm inquiring and asking
now
more
I feel
questions, I'm
uncomfortable.
nosy. Yeah. So which then made me believe like maybe he's lying, because typically when somebody brings you a whole spilled out story and got all the goods displayed for you, and then you ask one question, probing or not, and they're like, that's stay in your lane. Like, what?
Right,
Now you
right.
okay. All right. Okay.
Oh man, oh
So yeah,
man.
I mean, he may have been fibbing a little bit. He may have been hyping it up. Maybe he was just kissing the girl. Maybe they weren't like getting it in. Maybe he was, trying to put the moves on her. Or maybe he did create this whole fantasy just to kind of mess with Chiron's head.
I just kept saying, "Why you messing with that boy? You
Oh
know
yeah,
he like, you know,
he
you
like, why
know,
are you flirting so hard? Like, just
leave that boy alone. You know he
please.
all he don't, he emotional. Like,
Right.
period.
And
The
little do
only
you
thing you
know.
know, if the only thing you know he emotional and he don't talk. So don't make him
Right.
uncomfortable because it's gonna be all on his face.
Period. Period. So,
I love the scene where he hit that boy with that chair though.
oh my
I
God. And
laughed and I
so
said, "You goddamn
I,
right."
that is the man, for anybody that's ever been bullied, tormented, just treated like crap, and to be perfectly honest, any time in your life, but specifically during that time in high school, to have the pleasures of like crack. You didn't see it coming. I don't even need you to know it was me, because I get so much joy out of just.
The best part for me was the teacher, because the teacher's like, "Oh."
That was the first time they showed the teacher's face too. Like,
My issue was like, so you just gone.
yeah, Man,
Let
look,
'em just
I'll tell you this right now. Being a person who has worked around kids for about 10 plus years now, some kids just,
need to
there are
get their
plenty of
butt
fights that
whooped.
I could have stopped.
Well, I ain't even gonna lie. I didn't let it happen before. True.
But
It was
there's
one
some
little boy in
kids,
particular. It was one
oh,
little boy in particular.
maybe you get hit one more time and then, okay, I'm going to pull them off.
And that little boy beat his butt, his nose bleeding and everything. I said, "That's what your little
I'm going to
bad
help
butt
you
get.
afterwards,
That's
but,
what your little bad butt get." And I walked up
shoot.
to the office.
You're not supposed
The
to
whole
touch kids
time.
anyway. They tell you as adults, like, you're not supposed to break up
No,
fights.
you're
You're not
not.
supposed to push
You
kids.
can mess around and get hurt. My cousin, she worked at Mumford and she tried to break up a fight and she failed. She got pushed down a flight of steps and she had to kind of like retire from teaching because she
That's
broke both her legs.
That's crazy. I remember my principal, it may have been this been his first year taking over our school, Finney, aka Eastside High. And he got into a middle of a fight and a kid cracked his jaw. He
Oh,
had to have
Jesus.
he had to have
Kanye West.
his teeth were like
Shut. Wired shut.
wired shut. Yep. I didn't know that. Just for
It just wouldn't come out. It wouldn't come
it just
out.
wouldn't come out. No, Stacey, you're right. But you gotta let them kids fight.
Let them fight. Let them get out their aggressions. But I'm confused as to why he ended up going to jail. He must have killed that boy.
Oh, because that's what happens. In the article that I read, where it was just like that power is it was short lived because just like he had gained it and had got the energy to do that, for him, unfortunately, what's gonna happen is he's not going to be able to get out of the situation. For instance, when they all whooped his butt, but he was in the principal's office because of who he is and who he has always
Yeah,
been.
it's always the good guys.
It's always the
It's
good guys. And he was so enraged that everybody had their hands on him. He probably wasn't even thinking about getting away. He just wanted that boy to know, like, I got you.
Because I said, you better not be walking this fast to go sit your ass down in a chair.
Oh, you better be doing
something because you was walking too fast. He obviously didn't have no friends because if my friend was coming into school walking that fast, I'm either walking out the front door or I'm stopping him to say, "Hey, what's going on? Like, you okay? Because you walking real fast.
Where are you headed?
You got something in that bag because if you got something in that bag, you let me know so I can go."
For real. I'm that one friend where they keep walking. I'm like,
"My mama, I'm sick. I'm feeling a little sick. Can you come pick me up from school?"
I'm supposed to go down. I don't know how and why, but
because I used to be friends with all the kids who were not deemed desirable in the eyes of all the other
yes.
You ain't shooting me. Period. Okay.
Me.
I'm getting out of here. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah. And those are things that I felt like as young Black people, it's kind of like I don't know if you saw the trend. It was on TikTok where it was like, my baby's so sweet, and there's a 98% chance that my baby won't kill me, and then the baby turns around like real creepy, like, well, it was like there's still that 2%. And I always kind of felt that during high school and especially during those times, that y'all are going to push the nerdy Black kid to come in here with their parents' shotgun, machine gun, I don't care, 9mm they got off the block. Because what you have to know is that nerdy Black kids got regular hood Black cousins and aunties and uncles and grandmas and like
right. But that's
they are just
I've seen those fights. I've seen those kinds of fights where it's my friend who I've been knowing since 6th grade and we in high school and these boys be picking on them every day. Every day they pick on them. And then one day they get in a fight and you just see them whoop they ass because they got all this pent up rage and you can't get enough teachers to keep them and hold them back because they have all this pent up rage inside of them. And when you really poke the bear, really, they bite back.
Period.
Then don't nobody mess with them no more.
Yep. But in this case, Chiron is shipped off. He's shipped off to Atlanta, and he's dealt with in a way that you had not seen anybody else dealt with when it came to the repercussions of the whole bullying thing, and so now we get into yo, for real, it really do make you rethink all those times that you were well, and I'm much like you, Chevy. I wasn't of the desirable. But by the time I got so called
Hey,
desirable,
this is really a thing. Getting hit and then having to
no,
return.
it's a real thing. No, you hit a real chord with that one. I was the same thing in high school. I mean, probably towards the end of my high school career, I wasn't necessarily desirable. I maybe had more friends than usual, but that's because I played sports only. But yeah, you don't pick on people, you don't pick on people, and
You shouldn't. It's
you
not
shouldn't.
nice
And
to
I've
pick on people.
fell in that category a couple times, and I guess sometimes being desirable, but now looking back, I was just a lackey. I was one of the times when the popular kids was like, today let's bring Toya part of us and let her sit with us. And then they do their thing. And then I might join in a little bit, but I realized very quickly it wasn't cool, and as what they say now, I don't want no smoke. Then I realized very quickly, it was kind of a Kevin situation where if those people came around me and they talked to me, I was kind, because the fear was in me, the even if they weren't bullying, but the moment that they wanted me to bring that same energy to people that I knew, and that's where I came from, that's when I had to be like, nah, I have to really pick a side. And I think I have to just endure what y'all gonna give us, because I'd rather be over here with my friends than over there be standing behind y'all being like, I can't save you, sorry. Like, it's the quintessential, like, I got into the club, but I can't get you into the club. The whole time I'm in the club, I'm thinking about y'all.
Right. I was never in the club. I had to create my own. Like
Hey,
like
and
the Losers Club. That was basically my club.
hey, and bruh, those times got me through school. Honestly, like being part of the Losers Club got me through. Because if it weren't for those people, I would have been that emotional, suicidal, or on the flip side, you know, faking and pretending until I couldn't fake and pretend anymore, until it became real.
Yeah. I get
And
it.
I think that's actually a great segue into Black.
Wow, that is a great segue.
Yeah,
Wow. That was really good
I like how
segue,
that came
actually.
together. The Black, and now he is, they're playing dang, what's the song? I don't even know who's by. I feel really bad right now. Like my hip hop is so off.
I don't
But
know.
don't.
Oh, you talking about who's that creeping in my window now? I don't know.
That's not Ghetto Boys, is it?
I don't know, child. It was
Maybe
a
it's
name.
Ghetto
I didn't when I saw their name on the screen, I said, wow, I never knew that was their name. And I
Oh no, creep in my window. Pow. I don't think it. I don't think
Stacey,
that's.
what's the name of that song? Who made
Yeah,
it?
right. We got our resident DJ in the house. Oh, Goody Mob. Sorry,
Oh, it was
I
Goody
looked it up.
Mob.
Goody
Oh,
Mob.
that's
Goody Mob and the
easy. That's
yep and
easy.
yep. Goody Mob. CeeLo Green, all that
Oh,
good
she
thing.
said Dungeon Family?
Hey, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it is. No, you're yep. You are right. You are correct. Ding 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 ding. But yeah, that movie, that song settles in. You see this
I just
beautiful,
like, damn.
chocolate,
I mean,
muscular,
Jesus. Wasn't he?
just,
Beautiful. I said,
mm,
boy, you done smoothed on out, sir. You done
mm,
smoothed on out.
no.
Ain't lanky no more. You
I mean, just whipping,
just okay, but you obviously sell drugs, and I'm disappointed. That's what I said in my
yeah,
head. That's
just
exactly what I said in my
just
head.
that quick.
We forgot a big thing, though. We forgot a big thing
Oh,
in
we
his
did.
high school life.
We did. Oh, we did. We did. We definitely did.
We forgot that Kevin jacked him off at the beach.
You be so eloquent. It's just put simple like that.
Yes, and then he shook his hand with the come hand.
He shook his hand with the
and looked at him in his eyes deeply.
Ain't that love? That love right there. Yeah. That's some real love. That's some real low key, down low love.
Yeah, I was like, is he gonna shake his hand? Give him dap with the come hand. He sure did. I said, oh wait, that's what I said. I said, okay. All right, y'all basically in a relationship, and then the next day,
right. The next day had to happen the next day. Like, oh, who knows what would have grown?
Nothing. That's why that happened the way it happened.
You're right. You're right. Oh gosh.
Oh man. So now we can go back to grown black. And it's cute that ended up being his nickname. The nickname Kevin gave him with his fine, muscularly chocolate, nice line up looking, grill having, diamond earring, chain.
So just the way he was whipping.
He was driving that car just like Juan used to.
Yep. Just like your daddy. Look just like your daddy. Looking just like your daddy. Man, he had all the inspiration, the do-rag, all that, the car, the lifestyle, the demeanor. He had it sweet. He had it down pat.
And I don't mean sweet like that. I mean like sweet person. Like like that too. Because even the way he talks, if you knew him and you knew his character and you knew his life story, you would be able to say, yeah, he's still gay.
Yes,
he's definitely gay.
That's what
nobody could tell us because then nobody know him.
No, then nobody knew him, and that's what he speaks to when he talks. When he finally links up with Kevin later on, is that he had an opportunity to start all over again, to create black
version of himself that was not Chiron.
But unbeknownst to him, that he would get a call in the middle of the night from his old friend Kevin to basically
that messed that man up.
I mean, it messed him all the way up. Like,
he played that scene beautifully.
He seen the switch between his name was Trevante Rhodes, seeing him switch back and forth between Chiron and Black. It was like acting. What? Just you get it, brother.
All three of them actors did a beautiful job of keeping the consistency of that character, because if we was basically a young man who never got to experience childhood and never got to talk about those problems. I remember going back. I remember the scene where it was one of them scenes where I was sitting there with the frog in my throat, trying not to cry. He came to Janelle Monáe's house after his mama basically said, no, boy, you got to find somewhere to be. And you could tell that something was wrong with him. You could tell. And I mean, she used to something being wrong with him, but we don't know their life. We haven't seen them. Right. So we've never seen this boy happy for real. We've never seen him happy for real, other than the time he went swimming. We've never seen him happy as a young adult. We never seen him happy as a teenager. So we don't even know what happiness really looks like on him, other than when he was sitting with Kevin, kind of, but he was high. So I don't consider that happiness. I consider that being high. So, when him and Janelle Monáe was in that bedroom and he was standing there, and you could kind of almost like hear his voice cracking in a way. Like if she would have asked him another question, he was just
been done.
He'd have been done. And I feel like every scene with him, that's why I was either crying or had a frog in my throat, because he was always on the verge of totally breaking down. And nobody everybody just let him be like that because he was a man, because he was a black man. And you just supposed to be. I just wish that her character was that character that kind of like, you can let your guard down with me, but her character was also that character of like, but if you don't want to tell me, you ain't got to. And that annoyed the crap out of me because he needed someone who would just sit there until he said whatever needed to be said or gave him a hug or whatever. And it was just so hard to watch his character be going through all this turmoil, and because he was a young black man, he just supposed to go through it.
No, you're correct. I mean, and you know, it showed and proved throughout his life, because even though he, as black, he's pretending to be Juan, he didn't even pretend all the way out to have his Teresa. So that just showed how much, like, she really, unfortunately, didn't have a real presence, like, for real.
Well, I don't know.
Not presence, but you know,
I feel like the reason why her presence was felt is because he lived his truth, even though he wasn't being truthful all the way. He knew he didn't want to involve a woman or someone else, or, you know, put his way of being on someone else. And if it wasn't for the words that she told him when he was younger, I don't think he would. I think he would have had kids. He would have had girlfriends out the butt, and he fine. He would have definitely been with this person, that person, this person. And I mean, sad to say that if you're a person who never feel like they're ever going to go there, you do kind of go into yourself. Because if I'm never going to do it fully, I might as well not do it at all. And I might not hurt nobody else. I don't want to involve anybody else. I'm just going to do me. I'm just going to be with me. I'm just going to be me. You know what I'm saying? And if I find somebody, fine, but I'm not looking because don't nobody know, and I'm not trying to let nobody know. You know what I'm saying? But he definitely liked his drug dealer dude.
I was just about to ask you, so what did you think that was to represent? Like, what did that relationship, you know, like borderline flirting, you know, in the car for sure, and then
even if it was just him.
Yep. And then kind of the twist when he, you know, scares him a little bit with the seriousness of you shorted me.
But he did short him.
He did
short him.
Ooh. I was trying to figure that out when I watched it. I was like, did he short him?
He did.
I didn't know how to figure it out. Like, I was like, do I need to count the money? Like, do I need to
No, he just liked him. Or maybe they were together in a way. Maybe they had sex before.
Maybe.
I kind of thought that's where they were alluding when he picked him up. He was too like, even that part where he asked him something, he leaned over and he said, "Sorry, what you say?" I said, do they like each other? Like, what's their deal?
And then, you know, to think of the fact that the question that he asked him is where the hoes at. Like, is this just like a little funny play? Like,
like, are they about? I thought he met him on Grindr and they was about to go grind. Like, that's what I thought was about to happen. Like, because his guard, he totally let his guard down when he got in the car. Like, if I didn't know how drug dealers drove, looked, and carried themselves, I wouldn't have thought he was a drug dealer. I would have thought he was just a black guy who is not out, who don't find men, so they go on Grindr and they pick them up in the woods, and then they go have sex with them.
Yeah, that would have been a hell of an intro to that third chapter. He is like full-blown DL.
I mean, I can't see him even by the end of it. I don't see either one of them being full-blown out either. I don't think he's gonna be any less DL than he is now, even if this story continues, because they left us with the open-ended story, so you can literally go wherever you want to go. But I highly doubt he's ever gonna be a fully out man. And I think it's because of the trauma that he's faced in his life.
Completely so. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about it. You know, so Kevin pops up, and Kevin is definitely on some big head.
Yeah, he really was on a damn house phone.
Real, Boy, if you don't just say, why don't you come see me? Just, and I thought, like, he wasn't lying. Like, he said, I seen somebody, I thought it was you. But then we find out it wasn't him, it was the song. So that's why I was like, he was definitely giving off like toxic ex, hey, big head energy for sure.
Yeah, but it's like we all knew that, Chiron never faulted him for hitting him, but he wasn't gonna let him get it easy. Because he said basically every time he stood up, he said, if you're gonna do this, you're going to do this. Because you're choosing to do this, so you're gonna hurt just as much as I do.
Yep.
So he was hurt by the fact that this boy put his boyfriend, because they was together at that point,
just like you said, this right here,
in this position to hurt me purposely. Not even because you knew the situation, because you didn't know. You know what I'm saying? It's no way that boy could have known. You know what I'm saying? So him coming back into the fold, you can automatically see that there is no hard feelings because he was in love with him. Mm-hmm. So it probably always have been.
Always have been and always will be. Because if we're talking from the perspective of that, if he continues on that he wouldn't, then we know for facts that.
But sometimes it be like that. Sometimes it's that one, especially when you're like gay and you find somebody and that's your somebody and that's gonna be your somebody, and if they accept you and they don't care whether you come out or not, that's gonna be your somebody forever. Because that was always your somebody. They've been flirting with each other since they was 10. Mm-hmm. They gonna be forever somebody's.
Yep.
Period. They gonna be together forever, because they've been together forever in a way already.
Yeah. So what did you think about the kind of the tippy toeing of it all? Just like talking about everything but that night, talking about everything but what we mean to each other, talking about everything but this overwhelming sexual tension.
I think that's just, it was a great view to see how like non-feminine gay men would interact with each other, because we get a very askew view of what a Black gay man looks like. So I am not surprised. I think that's no different than a guy coming to see a girl who he ain't seen in a long time. It would not get right down into it. It would be just stupid and awkward and dumb and weird. And 1 minute I'm feeling like I'm being disrespected, so I'm cutting into you. And the other person like, whatever, I'm just playing. And all this culminates to the nightcap at the house where we really about to either fuck or we're going to say what we really want to say, but it's going to take for one of us to just come out and say it.
Yeah.
Just in general. But it was good to see. It was good to watch them interact from that perspective. 2 non-feminine Black men who are also sexually ambiguous and not the normal sexual orientation, because we don't know. Kevin could have been anything but heterosexual, but he really wasn't heterosexual.
Yeah. And the fun part about it is when he, just talks about like how he wasn't ever destined to be anything. So he just did what people thought.
But see, that's another great point you make, because like we were talking about the odds that are stacked against Black men or just our people in general. There are 2 men who are not conforming to heterosexuality. They are on a different spectrum of sexual orientation, spectrum of sexual orientation. And not only that, but they're still Black men.
Yep.
So they still had hard lives. So they still ended up going to jail, both of them. So they still ended up having a kid with a girl out of wedlock. Now he a baby daddy, she a baby mama. He's still selling drugs. Their lives have literally amounted to absolutely nothing. This is a love story.
Yeah.
But their lives, he a chef at a diner. He a drug dealer. This is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
this is not a success story.
No, it's not. It's like, wow, this is this is us. Like, this is us. And in the midst of it all, we still need love too. We still need acceptance too. And it's crazy to watch a movie where people have to still maneuver through these kind of things with all the other odds that are stacked against them.
Yes. Yes. Talk about it.
She's stupid.
Who?
She gonna say when I said, what was I trying to say?
I don't know.
I can't remember now.
I can't remember either.
But that is what I said. But that's not what I was trying to say.
I don't know what you're trying to say either. We'll laugh at this
later. But yeah, no. I thought that scene in the diner was great. I thought it was funny when he showed him the picture of the baby and he nearly lost his shit. And then he found out they weren't together and he quickly clinked up like, oh, cool. Yeah.
Okay. Y'all still like
y'all still together.
Very similar to when I think he asked the probing question when he was asked about the girl. Like, like,
are y'all still down?
Y'all still do that?
Oh no, we ain't down. That man didn't even have a car.
That man didn't even have a car.
And and that's the crazy thing about it.
I'm still trying to figure out, was he staying in a hotel?
No, I don't think. No,
in Florida, it's weird like that. Florida, they houses look like hotels. That's what I learned.
Yeah, they can.
Places that are close to the water, and he was obviously close to the water, like.
Oh, sexual spectrum. And I said
spectrum. Okay. Sexual.
And I said a spectual.
I want to know what a spectual is.
It's a mistake.
What did you have? A spectual. Sexual mistake.
Oh my gosh. What else was about? But that's another thing I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Like everybody, like for instance, B. Simone talking about write this list, right? For the person that you want. But it's like also neither one of these men were desirable. Like on paper. Like, oh, you're a felon. You're a drug dealer. You don't have a car and you got a baby mama and you got a kid. You don't even have a cell phone, I think, because you called me on your work phone at the job.
Yep.
You sell drugs still. That's a thing that you do. You're on the DL. Your mom is recovering.
Oh, you got trauma.
Hella trauma. And I know all about your trauma because I've been watching you and knowing you for years. On paper, neither one of these men are desirable. But like their love surpassed all of that because it went on for decades. And I know we get hung up on like write a list of everything that you want, blah, 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 blah. But in situations like that, like what do? Do you say, no, I don't want love because he's a drug dealer, or I don't want him because he has a baby mama? You know what I'm saying? Like in those moments, like none of that shit matters. You know what I'm saying? Because if you love somebody, you really love them. You will be whatever you need. They need you to be until they are what they need to be.
Period.
And I don't know. I just think it's crazy how in these movies that we watch and we love, we look at these characters that usually are very undesirable. There's somebody who's usually doesn't have a job, they a liar, whatever their situation may be, and these people still accept them. But in real life, we have to write a list first.
Look, I'm convinced that it's all connected to a plot in some way to like capitalism. Like for real. Like when you think about marriage and the legal union and the whole idea of having the 2.5 kids and moving here and living there and reading this and the vacations and all that stuff, you only do it because you got a family and you got a significant other. And like it, to me, it just feels like a plot. doesn't feel like what we should be doing as regular people. I'm not saying that we shouldn't fall in love. We should not create connections. We should not have unions. But I think the way that it's done and this whole idea of like listing out all your stuff and X out people who aren't that, like, that's bull crap. Because this is why I was always so open to dating outside my race, because I didn't know what I could possibly just be, talking to the hand to, because I just wanted to be with a black man from my area. And this is when I'm a younger person and I only knew the surrounding area, right? I realized very quickly, like, I need to accept others. I need to, like, not just limit myself to black men. Although ultimately, to be perfectly honest, that's what I prefer to be with, just because when I think about the whole idea of like dismantling the black family. But then I think, who am I as one person to take that on solely? Like, like, that's a lot on me. And as much as I want to have a black child and raise black children to continue on the legacy, who's to say that I cannot do that with a child of marriage is goofy, with a child that's another, like, split down to half with another race?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I get
it's nuts.
It is. All of this is nuts. This movie was nuts.
Yeah, I the movie is exceptional.
It is exceptional. I love the scene where he goes to see his mom at the rehab center.
Yes.
And she say, "I love you, even though you ain't gotta love me, but I love you."
Mm-hmm.
But I just wish she would have told him, "And I see you."
Yep.
I also see you, because it was one thing that everybody can confirm in that movie is everybody saw him. Everybody knew who he was. Everybody knew who he was going to be.
And she had been seeing him. Like, she had
they all did. They all knew. Every single adult he encountered knew.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand in that last moment why she was looking at him and just didn't say, "And I see you. And it's okay. You're going to be okay."
Mm-hmm.
I wish she would have said that too.
Yeah, I think that she was too kind of, I want to say that she was just too far gone. Like, I think her just discussing how effed up she had been and how she, didn't do right by him, that I think it was hard for her I felt like that felt like another layer that she just probably wasn't ready to admit or dig into,
Right.
And let's be honest, Black wasn't really ready either. Like, I mean, I think it would have been amazing and loving to hear that, but that was such a whole nother ball game that I think that she just wrapped it all into one. Like, I effed up everything.
I don't know. I think maybe he would have, because I did not expect him to say, "You're the only other man who ever touched me." I said, and I expected you to say something because you look like you had something on your mind, sir. But I did not think you were going to say that, because that's a lot. That's just a lot. Even if I wanted to go there with you, that was a lot. I said, "Oh, okay. All right."
Yeah, that's the equivalent to telling somebody you a virgin. You just you're about to have sex with them.
I mean, to not know where his head is at, for real, like, where his head is at.
Mm-hmm.
But to not know where his head is at and to just say that, like, they weren't even talking about that. He just said, "You know what? Shit." He said, "I'm tired of your malarkey. You play too much," because Kevin do play too much. I'm gonna say this, and you can do whatever the hell you want to do with it, because I don't have time for this no more, and I'm not about to play with you no more.
But that plays into Sharon coming to find out, like, yes, he was a man of not of many words, right?
No, he was not.
But the words that he did speak got straight to the point.
Yeah,
And that was that moment. And I love how they always try to let you in on the fact that Chiron is always there. Black is just the mask and the persona, and just as easy as those fronts come out, to eat food, that black melts away in moments like this. To to shine through and ask you the hard hitting questions, like, or tell you a hard thing like, I've never done this since you.
And I was just like, wow.
AK,
Wow.
I love you, man.
Pretty much. And then he don't even say nothing. He just gonna smile. I said, you better have smiled, because I don't know what that man would have did if you'd have been like, nah, man.
Choked
Because they
up.
sure made us wait. They sure made us wait a little moment.
I love the way that they displayed affection between two non-feminine black men.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know,
kind of glad that they showed them like having sex. I mean, I wouldn't have mind. But
I'm right there with you. I'm not gonna lie. Like the first look, Pep, get out of the situation. I believe the first time I saw it too, I was like, not even a kiss.
No, I wish they would have showed at least a kiss.
But you know, being a grown up and getting my head out the gutter, amongst other things, I love the way that they did that. I mean, even the scene on the beach, like I love the way that they did that. What?
No.
No,
No.
like a straight up lie.
No.
Change the subject.
Ooh, shoot. Yes. So in the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
Moonlight won 3 Oscars. One for Best Supporting Actor, one for Best Motion Picture, and one more for something that I can't remember. Oh, Best Adapted Screenplay.
Nice.
Marsala Ali won 2 Oscars 2 years in a row, because I think he won one for Green Book the next year. Or maybe he won Green Book that year, the same year. I don't remember. But anyway, he won an Oscar for 15 minutes. The man is amazing.
Amazing.
Oh man, he's gonna be Blade.
I was gonna say I cannot wait for him to be Blade. I cannot.
Oh man, the movie was really good. I cried at the majority of the movie. Yes, it's very hard to movies about people who are not out and watching them go through that struggle are hard for me to watch. So those kind of movies make me cry a lot. Yeah, it was a good movie though. I enjoyed it. I probably will never watch it again.
Yeah,
I just be crying like that, y'all. It's just not my
all these emotion provoking films, you know. But I'm glad you've seen it though.
I've been meaning to watch it.
You've seen it, so I that is what I am most happy about. This is, and I watched Moonlight numerous times for multiple reasons. To study it, to
shot beautifully.
To understand it more, to understand how to tell a story in somewhat an unconventional way. It's not that we've never seen this done before, someone's life being broken down into chapters, but you know, to pick all of those parts of the chapter, like whoa. Yeah, it's a movie that I would love to watch, but yeah, it's not something that I'm gonna watch as often as I'd watch Jurassic Park, or on a monthly. Like it's one of those one time a year type, you know.
Yeah. one time in my life.
All right.
If I watch it on mute, I'll probably watch it again.
Okay. Yeah, kind of like singing in the background.
Yeah, like to just watch it for the movie itself, for the movie production value of it all.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else you want to tell the people? Closing out.
Thank you. We had so many viewers today. So many people in the chat. People are text messaging me. Shout out to my friend Jerome. He texts me. He's watching. He's not in Twitch, but he needs to download Twitch. Shout out to DJ Stacy J. Shout out to Moon X Keeper. Shout out to Rail 7. Shout out to Aaron C. Shout out to anybody else who's here, but not here, you know, like just watching. I appreciate you. We appreciate you for just watching. If you want to watch and enjoy the chat part of the the situation and get your comments put up on screen, then you need to go to twitch.tv and sign up, and then follow me at Chevy the Superstar, follow Toya at Point of Viewfinder, and meet us here live on Thursdays at 8 p.m. so you could be a part of the conversation, and maybe your comments will get put up on the screen too.
Hey,
And then it's etched in history that you were here, and can't nobody take that away from you.
can't nobody
Okay.
take that away from you.
Yeah, that's really all I have.
All right. So, as we love to end off with quotes from movies, we just went ahead and just, gonna take one from this movie itself. I'm not going to be able to give you the acting skills that I typically can give you, because most of the quotes that I've known before, I've seen them acted out a lot of times, and I've been able to study them a little bit. But yeah, Mr. Ali has a voice and a like an accent dictation, I guess you would say, that I just can't get. It's just hard, but I'll say his quote with as much love as I can. All right. There are Black people everywhere. You remember that, okay? No place you can go in the world ain't Black people. Juan from Moonlight, 2016.
Oh, one more thing, y'all. I am on the path to affiliate. So if you could really seriously sign up for Twitch and just follow me, that'd be a blessing. That'd be a blessing.
Come on,
Path
now.
to affiliate. Path to affiliate. We all on a path to affiliate. Here, right here.
Mm-hmm.
So just follow us.
Follow.
And what we watching next week? I did gotta put you on the spot.
Just a little bit. This will
we'll
be
that out off the camera.
Last Thursday of Black History Month. Yeah, we're gonna let y'all know. So, this is why it's important that you follow us on the socials, so you can hear about these things, so you can know when we know, because we only human. You know what I'm saying? So we this is how it works. Okay. But no, it's just gonna be a Black film. We're gonna try to line up the mood as we get into the end of Black History Month. But just know it's Black 3. She wasn't ready.
It'll be something. We probably try to make it something funny.
Yeah, we're gonna try to have some fun for sure. All right, y'all.
We out. Oh, thank you for joining 2 Snaps in a Circle. We are Seacrest out.